The year is 1977. Humanity sent two spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, on a trip into the outer solar system. Their design was ingenious, taking advantage of a rare planetary alignment that occurs only once every 176 years. This arrangement allowed the spacecraft to perform a gravitational slingshot, accelerating between worlds with minimal fuel. The mission, boldly named the Grand Tour, symbolized a desire not just to explore, but to connect with a cosmos that had long seemed beyond reach. Voyager 1's flyby of Jupiter and Saturn revealed wonders never before imagined: volcanic eruptions on Io, swirling storms on Jupiter, and the delicate beauty of Saturn's ring. Voyager 2 followed with equally dazzling discoveries at Uranus and Neptune, offering humanity its first close-up view of these distant worlds. The Voyagers carried with them not only instruments, but also a message: the golden record. This copper disc, coated in gold, contained greetings in dozens of languages, music spanning cultures and centuries, and images representing the diversity of life on Earth. What gets me every time is the sheer audacity of it. The odds that some alien civilization will stumble upon the Voyagers are basically non-existent. Space too vast, craft too small, and they're moving too slow. But that wasn't the point. The golden record wasn't really for them, it was for us. It was a gesture of hope, a cosmic time capsule saying, hey, we existed. Think about that for a second. In the middle of the Cold War, when nuclear annihilation was a very real threat, humanity somehow found the grace to press a record into gold and send it into the stars, filled not with threats or power, but with laughter, music, and love. And I find that very comforting. This reminds me of the Christmas truce. In 1914, the great powers of Europe found themselves at the beginning of a war that, by its end in 1918, nobody could have comprehended. When war broke out, both sides were promised that it would be over quickly, that it would be over before Christmas. As the passionate and excited youths of both sides rushed to claim their place in history and their piece of glory, the sound of their cheers for a short while drowned out the reality of the industrial machines that are now set in motion. By October, the High Command ultimately started to plan for a long, drawn-out stalemate conflict, but as December came, the junior officers of both sides began to send letters offering terms to collect their debt and rebuild any fortifications over the winter. Many of these weren't approved by High Command, but both sides realized that they needed some sort of respite from what would become a long and dragged-out war. Now, imagine this. As Christmas draws near, all across the Western Front, the fighting grinds to a near halt. You hear both sides shouting insults across the no man's land, replacing the crack of rifle fires with sharp words. These insults morph into jokes, and the jokes soften into pleas for shared humanity. Cries of "no more brother wars." Before long, the air fills with singing. You're huddled in a muddy trench near Ypres, and the sound of German voices singing Still Nach pierces the frosty December air. Your greatcoat clings to you, soaked and heavy. It was no help against the cold. The trench walls, slick with ice and studded with splintered wood and rusted wire, seems close in on you. Your boots sink into the churned-up muck, and the floorboards creak under your weight. A rat skitters over a discarded bully beef tin nearby, its claws scratching in the dark. Across the scarred 100 yards of no man's land, the German trenches are shrouded in fog, but you catch the faint glow of a cigarette or the clink of a mess tin. They're close. Too close. Your fellows are as wary as you are. He clutches a tattered letter from home, his lips moving silently as he traces the words. Your sergeant stares into the distance, his finger twitching like he braced for the whistle. Every distant thud of artillery reminds you that the war is never far off. You're exhausted, your rifle propped up against a parapet, dirty but ready to use. But tonight, something shifts. That German singing, now it's Silent Night, in English, tugs at you. And you find yourself humming along, your voice low and cracked. They're singing out carols, your friend whispers. You nod, your throat tight. The melody stirring memories of home, of Christmases before the war torn everything apart. Then a flicker of light appears above the German parapet. A single candle. Its flame trembling in the dark, darting that trench like fallen stars. Your grip on your rifle loosen. Your chest aches with something that isn't fear. Maybe it's the thought of your mom's kitchen, the smell of her Christmas roast. The singing grows stronger, more voices joining, and you feel strange warmth despite the cold. Someone in your trench starts singing back, tentative at first, then bold. Your friend cups his hand and shouts, "Happy Christmas, Fritz!" A German voice calls back, "Merry Christmas, Tommy!" Your heart pounds, half expecting a shot to shatter the moment. But the night stays quiet. The trench feels different now, like everyone is holding their breath, waiting to see if this fragile human connection will hold. The war looms out there, but for now, it's just you, the candles, and the songs. And you're left wondering, what comes next? Now, the Christmas truce didn't end the war. The guns came back to life again the next day, and the world slid back into the bloody grind. But for that brief moment, humanity chose connection over conflict. And in a strange way, that's exactly what the Golden Record represents. It didn't erase the Cold War. It didn't stop the nuclear arms race. But it was proof that even in the darkest times, people still reach for the light. The parallel is striking. In both cases, the gestures were small, almost symbolic. Sharing a song in the no man's land, sending a disc into the cosmic ocean. Yet, they both echoed with incredible strength, because they remind us of the same truth. Even in the shadow of destruction can still choose hope. And sometimes it's those fleeting, fragile gestures that shine the brightest against the dark. In the Nurture announcement video, you will notice at around 12-second mark a Google Maps link that shows up, but hidden by a picture of flowers. The links were to the coordinates of the two poles of the Earth. What Porter Robinson is trying to convey, at least what I think he's trying to convey, is that this album is thematically the opposite of worlds. Rather than dreaming of other worlds and a departure from this one, he's saying to love what we have here on this earth from pole to pole. Stop running. Love what's here. Love the sunlight through the leaves. Love the sound of the wind. The feel of being alive. I am terribly sorry for the Asian accent, the mispronunciation, and the low quality of the video, but this is my first video, and I will see it through, all the way through.